Okay, so we're moving toward the last couple weeks of the retreat, and on a certain level there's same old stuff have to deal with. You say the program is still the same. How do we understand suffering, free the heart from suffering? What's this whole thing about dukkha? And so that being willing to investigate and look closely at that whole issue of dukkha. This is what the Buddha lifts up front and center for as the central piece of how to understand his teaching and his his insight into the nature of the human condition. When we're willing to face that feeling and experience of dukkha, of just suffering, dis-ease, discomfort, discontent, dissatisfaction, then we're starting to be willing to recognize more clearly what is it that gets in the way of our peace and well-being and freedom. Because so often what we do is and of course this is what the Buddha points out, is that we move away from dukkha. And although it's quite natural to want to move away from dukkha, we tend to keep moving, keep running, keep trying to not experience it by virtue of our not being present, and not seeing it, not understanding it, not taking clear note of it. That's what the Buddha as the obstacle to understanding dukkha is ilyapada, the sense of shifting position. And of course that's putting it on a physical level, and we do that. But we do the same thing internally as well. We shift away, we move away, we try to get out of the experience, which is uncomfortable, and we don't like it, we don't want it, it shouldn't be this way, and so then we try to get away from it, get out of it. And usually how we do that is just trying to find some kind of something a bit more gratifying, a bit more interesting, a bit more exciting, and anything to alleviate that feeling of discomfort. But the the fundamental program of doing that or trying to accomplish that is through desire. And that nature of desire is that it can't really be quenched. It's always, and that's the nature of desire, is to feel a sense of lack. I desire something, I want something. And then even when we get it, we're already on to the next desire. We're already moving, shifting, or measuring what we get through that desire that we set up for the first thing, but nature of desire is already looking for the next thing, because that's what desire does. So we're always sort of off balance, not quite not quite gratified, not quite content. It's not quite the right thing. I obviously didn't get the right thing, so probably have to get something else or something different. And you see that's why I say that's the whole function of what is it? Storage containers in America. It's a huge industry to be able to hold all the things that were supposed to alleviate desire and make you feel better, not have to suffer. But then it's clutter your house with it. So then you have to get a storage container, and so that's that's the physical manifestation. The reality is it works on the mental, the emotional level. Even when we say, even as practitioners or people who are looking for something beyond the material, you come up with a particular idea or an ideal or a philosophy, and continue to refine that or to seek out a higher idea, higher ideal, because the old ideal didn't sort of fit the bill. So then, because the problem is that it's measured by the same desire that creates the dukkha. So then it's not it's not a viable strategy. And even when we come to meditation, we measure our meditative states by the same desire. How often do we get just the right meditation so that we're absolutely peaceful and still and fulfilled and free from dukkha? It's a nice idea. We could meditate ourselves out of dukkha, but. And obviously, meditation plays a very important role in practice. But it's important to understand what the meditation is for, what the practice is for, or even what the ideals the Buddhist ideals and are for. And it always has to come back for the understanding and freedom from dukkha. So that it's just so important to see that, because even when we in our meditation or our sort of quote unquote self-improvement, we're trying to improve ourselves, and that's not a bad thing. I mean, it's better than trying to be a worse person than we already are. It's important to see, well, what's pushing? Where do we suffer, even when we're trying to be peaceful, trying to be good, trying to be virtuous people with noble tendencies. So that really being willing to turn attention back onto that process of desire and suffering, desire and dissatisfaction, dis-ease, and see how it's being generated, and seeing that dis-ease is, I mean, it's also a disease. I mean, sort of in the sense of, kind of like coming to it's like we're sort of joining sort of the Buddha's hospital program, to heal ourselves, to cure ourselves, just to be able to recognize that we have this opportunity to be free from that dis-ease of the heart, and that we have just certain particular ailments, and it expresses itself in different ways, and we have to understand ourselves. One of the and everybody comes with their own particular ailments. So they just at least it's just learning how to understand ourselves, and also free ourselves from our own ailments without sort of picking up other people's ailments, or sort of spreading our own ailments around, or being it's like you go to a hospital and you don't sort of get worried and upset that other why are they taking that particular medicine? And so different practices are for different purposes. So we have to understand how to look after ourselves and free our own hearts from that tendency to create dis-ease and dukkha. So that one of the say tools that the Buddha gives for us to be training ourselves and freeing ourselves from dukkha. So there's these the bojjhangas, and it's actually like when there's a that's way back in the Buddha's time itself was an actual recollection, reflection chant that's done for actually alleviating physical illness. But obviously, these are the spiritual tools for freeing the heart from its ailments as well. So the 7 bojjhangas, 7 factors of awakening. Mindfulness, sati, mindfulness, dhammavicaya, investigation of dhammas, virya, energy, effort, piti, kind of joy, zest, passaddhi, tranquility, samadhi, concentration or settling the mind, and upekkha, equanimity. So these are qualities to be cultivating and putting attention and effort into, and really beginning with that aspect of mindfulness, so that one is being mindful, aware, alert, attentive to one's experience, and how do we experience things, how do we feel things, and sometimes, say like with mindfulness, there can be and sometimes it's necessary, really trying to hone in and focus in on the details of experience, really trying to clarify and sharpen how do we experience this? What's the details of this? They're trying to, it's like trying to sharpen the image of what we're experiencing. But mindfulness is also learning how to be attentive to the actual, the feeling tone of things. What's the actual feeling tone? What's the kind of, say, the energetic feel of the moment? Is there a sense of ease? Is there a sense of contraction? Is there a sense of expansion? Is there a sense of is there a sense of dread? Is there a sense, because all those are it's hard to quantify sometimes, or to make really sharp. But those are the things that also affect how we experience a situation, or experience ourselves, our self-image, our self-perception. So that having that mindfulness as an attentiveness to what's going to be, because it's mindfulness and clear comprehension, working together, clear comprehension, a good feeling for what they say, what's useful, what's beneficial. Mindfulness is what helps us to lay that foundation of recognizing, well, what's needed right now, or what would be helpful, what am I feeling right now, or what's the actual situation that I'm in, what would be useful. And so that aspect of mindfulness is it's laying that foundation. There's a sutta that the simile that the Buddha gives of the royal cook, and and of course, as these things go, he is sort of the foolish cook and the wise cook. And the foolish cook prepares food for the king, and it's given, and then, but he doesn't really pay attention to what the king takes, what the king doesn't take, what the king likes, what the king doesn't like, and so it's probably, as a cook, he's probably functional. He wouldn't be a royal cook otherwise, but he doesn't really, I say, gain say a stability in his position, doesn't get bonuses or gifts from the king, and from being in that position, because it's pretty, basic and functional. Whereas a wise cook is attending to, well, what does the cook like? What does the king like? What does the king not like? What does he take? Does he prefer salty food, spicy food? Does he like it hot? Does he like it cold? Does he like it this way? Does he like it that way? What kind of varieties? What kind of ingredients does he take an interest in? And because of that, then when he goes back and cooks again, he makes things that are that the king actually prefers, and because of that, then that wise cook gains a certain stability, or in his position. He gets gifts. He gets benefits come from that. So that and the Buddha uses that as in terms of our own practice and our using mindfulness to attend to our practice, to see what the mind takes an interest in, what it feels comfortable with, what it shrinks back from, what it what is it, what's useful. And it isn't just following preferences out of desire, but it's sort of recognizing that there are sort of fundamental tendencies that we all have, and you can't just use a cookie cutter formula and say, you do your practice like this, here's the formula, and it's going to make you better. You have to pay attention to what happens when you do practice. How does it change? How does the mind respond? How does the heart feel as one is engaging in the practice? What happens? And then how do we respond to that skillfully? So and that's the function of mindfulness, and that mindfulness, clear comprehension, attentiveness to experience, and not just coming from an ideal of what you think you should be doing because that's what the Buddha said, or the Kruba Ajahn say, or obviously we have to rely on some template, some guidance, some structure, but we also have to learn from our experience, and we have to learn how to support ourselves, and again, understanding how does this fundamental process of desire keep bringing me to a place of dukkha, of suffering, and how do I see that? How do I? Because that's the How do I understand that? So that's it isn't by trying to conform to the best teachings in the world or the best idea in the world, but it's understanding and knowing clearly what is dukkha, what's the cessation of dukkha. So the dukkha is to be understood, and it's not that all these different sort of responses that we have are somehow in just really bad and obvious indication of our flawed nature. It's just ordinary, but we can understand it, and we can know it, and we can be free from it. So that it's just it's part of the way things are, but it isn't how they have to be. The mindfulness as a fundamental foundation. Dhamma Vicaya, this investigation of Dhamma. And obviously there's overlap with all of these factors of awakening, all these and they interact with each other and they support each other. But that investigation into Dhamma, so with mindfulness as a foundation, and that taking that investigation of Dhamma as both, say, investigation of phenomena, and then investigating from a structure of the teachings, so that looking at the phenomena that we are experiencing. This is a way. This is the way it is. This is its nature, and without trying to gloss it over or interpret it in something else. This is the certain. Our experiences have a certain nature, an inherent nature, and of course that. And one of the fundamental ways of investigating that in terms of nature is its impermanence, its uncertainty, its inconstancy. Really looking at things, this is, and rather than being either elated or disappointed at the getting or not getting what one wants, or it conforming or not conforming with one's preferences, sort of the investigation of Dhamma is more looking at it in terms of, that's it. It has its nature to arise and to cease. It has its nature to be uncertain. It's its nature to be inconstant. And as we look at it from that perspective, then it has a different. We can hold it in a different way. We can investigate it and allow things to be there without being intimidated or averse or fearful or overwhelmed by desire to get away from it or to get something else or to it's just this this is the way it is, and we can being able to hold it in a way that it's being seen clearly and not leading to suffering, not leading to dis-ease. It's just leading to a quality of clarity. It's sort of really, and again, not clarity in this, not an obsession with clarity, but sort of seeing, okay, that's got this. This is what it is. It's like this. It's got this feeling tone to it. It's got this. Oh yeah, okay. Let's get a feel for it so that it doesn't overwhelm the mind. Then it's this with that investigation of Dhamma, an investigation of phenomena as phenomena. Then one's taking an interest in it, wanting to understand, wanting to see it clearly. And as one's doing that, then the function of, say, effort or energy is one, there's a certain energy comes up and to be applied. Again, this is where these qualities sort of bleed into each other. That as we take an interest in investigation, there is a kind of an energy that comes up. It's energizing to see things more clearly. It's energizing to understand things in their true light more. And as one, but then that's the another function, say, of energy is sort of bringing an energy, an effort, and in the sense of how, because part of the and a main part of the, when we so especially defining, so like right effort, it's all around how to, what kind of effort do we need to increase wholesome qualities and to decrease the unwholesome qualities, to increase the skillful experience and decrease the unskillful, increasing well-being and decreasing dukkha. So then there's a certain effort that is needed in order to, of course, it takes that mindfulness and investigation to keep tuning in to that experience and adjusting, so that there's and dukkha is a really important guide to be using as a tool for investigation. What is it that where is that sense of dis-ease, and how to dissipate, how to kind of let the edges of that dis-ease start to kind of crumble, and a sense of a welling up of well-being, and of course that's the sense of piti, a sense of joy, a sense of well-being, a sense of it's like one of the, remember. One time listening to Ajahn Chah, and because in, say, like usually that's translated as joy, rapture, and I remember thinking, wow, meditating and practicing and sort of thing, when am I ever going to experience rapture? I mean, that sounds pretty lofty and elevated and impossible. And then Ajahn Chah was talking about, the experience of rapture as one's practicing meditation, mindfulness of breathing. You just sort of, as you settle and there's an increased interest in the breath, and the breath and the body are connecting, and there's just a sense of settling into the posture, the experience of the breath and the whole body being very comfortable and at ease, and just a sense of uplift. So I was, oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I feel that all the time. So there's a sense of, oh, that's not that far away. And it is. It also is uplifting. It's uplifting. It's there's a certain vitality that is there, and so that's a part of that and the cultivation of these qualities. The quality of passaddhi, of tranquility, because these qualities are. I mean, the Buddha points to these factors of awakening, of having these three kind of active factors of investigation of Dhamma, effort, joy, piti, and so they're active, they're activating, they're uplifting, there's a certain energetic edge to it or push to it. It's energizing. And then the other three are more settling qualities. So like passaddhi, this quality, sense of settling, of being more tranquil, more easeful, and be more spacious, just more solid. Because if it's all kind of drive and energy, it can wear one out. And as there's a deepening and a releasing of dukkha, because each of those qualities is dealing with an aspect of dukkha that is being released or relinquished or let go of, and so that the quality of tranquility is then settling there, because one is letting go of a burden of dukkha. And certainly how the mind, in terms of samadhi, the tranquility is say more of the mind being more at ease. There's that settling, and the samadhi. It's both on a physical level, as one feels it with the body much more strongly, and obviously with the mind as well. It's this settling, and that's what I say in the Thai translation of samadhi is that firm establishing of the mind, where there's a firmness and there's a well-established quality. So then the quality of clarity starts to shine. With tranquility, that quality of clarity is starting to shine forth. But with samadhi, then it's that quality of clarity is really starting to shine forth, and seeing things more clearly, seeing things in their true nature more and more clearly. And that sense of equanimity. Equanimity as something that one brings to the practice, but also as a fruit of the practice, as one sees things in their true nature, seeing things in that aspect of, this is anicca, this is inconstant, this is changing, and it's impermanent, it's uncertain, it's not so stable, and there's dukkha, seeing things that, why do I want to cling to dukkha? Why do I want to hold on to dukkha? Why do I want to identify with dukkha? Why do I keep repeating that? What are the processes that keep, and that's an investigation of desire, understanding the way desire keeps pulling us into this experience of dukkha. And seeing not self. This is seeing phenomena, whether it's external, what the world is like out there, or what the world is like in here, this experience of me. This is this sense of, this is no way that this can be mine. It's not me. There's not why would I take this is what I am, and this is not myself. This is not my inner constant self nature. This is something to be relinquished. This is something to be let go of. It's something to letting it go back to its wherever it came from. It can just go back there, and it can be its own nature. But that sense of not investing in that identification with it, and that sense of equanimity, where there's a certain unshakability, a steadiness, as the fruit of the practice. This is a very real result of practice. This is what the Buddha points to as a possibility. And then on a certain level, there's some of this, when you line it up like this, it's this is kind of like for us as practitioners, developing these qualities, cultivating these qualities, and that's and it's important thing to be doing. But another aspect, when you think of factors of awakening, so these are fundamental characteristics of an awakened mind, of an awakened heart, and we can participate in that. We can embody all those qualities. They're there for us to embody, to bring into being, or to recognize as a possibility, and just allowing that to be seen, allowing that to be experienced. Say, as opposed to the what we tend to identify with, or what we tend to take on as a perception, as an identity. It's just so much is all we keep coming back to keep coming back to suffering, and and it gets so tiring to do that, and you realize that it's we really don't have to. We have this. We have far better options, and to be to learning how to encourage ourselves, learning how to use these structures of the teaching so that they really benefit us and support us in our quest for freedom from dukkha. So I'll offer that for reflection.